Welcome. Today's reading will be the sign of Gemini. We're going to do a love read. I will only do tarot today. And as always, reverse the roles. Time is fluid. So is energy. Place yourself and the other person where you need to. And as an aside, a fun fact about me is in both Western and Vedic astrology, my rising or ascendant sign is in Gemini. So the top row will be you, bottom row will be them. We'll get a mutual energy and some advice from the universe. Let's see. Nine of Cups, Hangman, and an Ace of Wands. So you could be in a state of reflection on what it is that truly brings you joy and how you can apply that to a new start. There is like a pausing for now to maybe figure out where you've come from, where you are, how you can apply this to your future, and knowing all the different aspects that you want in your life. You could be gaining a new perspective on things that bring you joy and what your desires are, how your passions show up in your life. Other person, King of Cups, Six of Cups, and the Five of Cups. This person could be holding on to some regrets of loss, or be a little bit of depression or holding on to things from their past. This person is very emotionally grounded. Like, they know what it is that they need emotionally. They are stable individuals in a sense. There's just this nagging, like maybe in the back of their mind, of, you know, how they have been treated in the past, how they were brought up, what their past taught them about what it means to be an emotionally stable person. They could have used their regrets and their loss and their feelings of things not going in their favor to really get to know themselves on a deeper level and bring a sense of calm and emotional maturity to themselves. There could also be a need to reflect on how your early relationships in childhood, adolescence shaped you as a person. And there can also be I'm getting a how do I say this? It's like you could start things too quickly, and you do that out of a sense that if you just fill that space instead of looking at what it is that has come to be, how those things have affected you, how they've hurt you, instead you kind of keep starting new things over and over to kind of shield yourself from a feeling of loss. There could also be, on a lighter note, really figuring out what it is that makes you happy and balanced, and despite things that have gone wrong, you've used those to your advantage and moved forward and become a more stable person for that. What is the mutual energy between the two? Ace of Cups. And the advice from the universe is the Hierophant. Hmm. There's definitely a new beginning with two aces here. There's definitely some sort of new emotional cycle that will be starting, and maybe it'll have feeling of tradition or more traditional values. For some of you, there could be a marriage or higher union. This feels more like on the spiritual plane, though. Like maybe this is a person that you've spent many lifetimes with that is an equal to you, and you know that. There could also be you need to take a risk, do something with blind faith. Maybe it is to start new. Perhaps you and this person are not together at the moment, but on your side, you're wanting to, gain a new perspective, figure out what it is that you really need and want, and what makes you happy to start something brand new, like from the beginning, kind of a fresh slate kind of energy. But the other person is kind of holding back a little bit, not putting forth their full emotional capacity because they still have some things either from past relationships, from your past relationship with them, or from their childhood that they're still grieving. But the two of you definitely want to start over and have it be something that is a good heart feeling, something that's going to bring you together over lifetimes. Let's clarify this top row. 9 of Cups. Hangman again. And the 4 of Wands. Yeah, so it's definitely maybe what you thought was going to be something that gave you that warm, fuzzy feeling on the inside didn't necessarily work out for you, and you're changing your perspective, gaining new insight on how you go about bringing union to yourself and others. What it is, maybe you're figuring out what your values are and deciding what it means to be happy and have a solid union with another person, with this other person. Why is the Hangman here? The Lovers and the 6 of Swords. Yeah, it's like this air of wanting to understand how you and this other person really fit together, what your souls speak to each other. And there's also, maybe there was a time of not feeling safe, not being in a cooperative relationship with them. And now you are coming to understand that you can free yourself from that. You can move through turmoil into a calmer, happier place. And actually commit to this other person. And doing so with a sense of childlike wonder. Why is this Ace of Wands here? What is this new beginning? Also find this person to be very sexually attractive. Prince, the Tower. You could have broken down an old structure, an old way of doing things. It's this shocking realization that in order to bring about change, to bring about new things, you have to be able to be in a good place in all aspects of yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually. You have to pour into yourself after there could have been some serious breakdown in the relationship at some point, something that was hurtful. Maybe you guys split for a time, and this was shocking. But it was like the shock that you needed in order to go inside yourself and heal those parts of yourself that were damaged in order for something new to take place. What is this? King of Cups. King of Wands. Knight of Wands. Well, while this person might be holding themselves back emotionally, physically, I don't think they are. They could also come off as sort of hot and cold at times, or they could seem kind of arrogant, very into themselves. They could also be trying to bring about sudden movement, but they also feel like they're holding that back a little bit. Like they want to move towards you. They want to bring about this lovely new beginning in the relationship, but they're also holding back that emotional element. Like they might be more focused on a physical relationship. It might be one of those, not that they don't care, but they're kind of zeroed in more on the surface of the relationship rather than really acknowledging the deeper, more emotional aspects. Because they are there, they're just choosing to kind of ignore them for the time being. And maybe that's out of a sense of protecting themselves. Maybe they're not quite to the point where they can really look at it, move through it. They're more in a grief but not a outward grief stage. Kind of like when your body goes into shock and you don't really feel the effects of that until afterwards. What is Six of Cups here? Four of Cups and Seven of Swords. They could have felt like there was some deceit, or maybe they feel like there needs to be strategy. Maybe they're feeling a little lonely, a little bit nostalgic, but also trying to navigate that in a much more strategic way. Maybe they're filling their time with distractions. They can also feel like maybe because there were lies, they missed out on something that they really wanted. Maybe that's where this loss comes from, this grief. Maybe that's why they haven't been able to get past it. Five of Cups, Sun, Swords. They know they need to make a choice about this. It's becoming blindingly obvious. They know that they have to figure out a way to get out of this feeling of grief. And it's being kind of shoved in their face, like the light was turned on to allow them to see just how much it is actually affecting them. And they're in a sense of indecision at the moment about maybe how to go about it. Because it's clear that they want to, start a new relationship with you, but maybe they're unsure of how to clear out this underlying feeling of regrets or loss or things that have happened in the past. Two of Cups and the Empress. Yeah, so you both definitely want this to be a recognized union, and you also both don't want to lose your sense of yourself. Maybe there's just this want to nurture and bring about unity, and doing so in a way that's going to be beneficial. It's I pour into me, you pour into you, we both pour into each other. It's just that, that dream of everything just running smoothly. What is the Hierophant. Nine of Cups. And the Seven of Wands. I feel like the advice here is to either one, stand your ground on what it is that you want, how to go about that, or to break down those old sets of rules that you lived by for so long and not be defensive. But it more feels like you've come to a sense of accomplishment and achievement, and there's a need to defend that from maybe not others, but maybe more so by keeping your irrational thoughts in check. Maybe, don't let your negative self-talk talk you out of your position on top of the mountain. And there might be either a need to go about things in a more traditional sense or a need to go against that. If we get one more card on this, kind of clarify which direction this is leaning. Four of Swords.
Here's a station based on the light songs.
Alexa, stop.
Music.
Alexa, stop. Alexa. I'm not sure where that came from. I apologize. So, as I was saying, I feel like it's more so to break down old standards, to not become defensive. Maybe the way that you've always done things was to, stand your ground, be stubborn, and really fight for what is yours. But instead, there's a need to be more peaceful, more passive, kind of go about it with this sense of serenity so that you can achieve the things that you desire, your wish fulfillment. It could also be the need to speak your truth, to be honest about what you really have going on. What is the overall here? Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, High Priestess. Keep your focus on your goal and go towards it with conviction. And also keep your intuition in check. Make sure you're checking in with yourself so that you either don't do things rationally or don't move too quickly, or there might be a need to really pay attention to the details instead of acting before you think. Pay attention to how things make you feel on a higher conscious level or on a spiritual sense. Like, don't forget to keep making sure that what you're doing feels right to you, and really zero in on what that what your intuition is telling you at all times. There's also a need to maybe look at something from a different perspective, a higher perspective, like take a bird's eye view to be able to understand all of the fine details of things while you're taking in more in your vision. You're also able to see how the whole thing works together. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully something was helpful, useful, and as always, have a good day on purpose.